Kyle Austin, Mike Griffith from MLive.com here at Spartan Stadium after the Michigan State spring game, a 14-11 team win for the white team. So if you were betting the white team, you won today.
I wouldn't have bet the white team.
You wouldn't have bet the white team. But obviously today is about looking at players, future players, how wrapping up the spring and how that went. And I think we should start with the quarterbacks. I think that's everybody's first one.
Sure.
I thought today Tyler O'Connor looked like the starter, the guy that we've been told he looked like in the spring. Did you see some separation maybe in the quarterback battle?
I don't know about separation. I did see a lot of really good things from Tyler O'Connor. I think it was like it is. I think it was pretty representative of the way it's been. I mean, Tyler O'Connor looked certainly comfortable. He led the team down the field twice on 2 scoring drives. Impressively. Threw the ball better than I thought, actually. Picked his spots to run. He was opportunistic. Had a pretty good day. Don't let the final score fool you kind of thing. I was more impressed with Brian Lewerke than I thought, Kyle. We came in here, we were both maybe a little surprised that Brian Lewerke was chosen ahead of Damian Terry in that seniors player draft last week. But I'll tell you, Lewerke throws the ball better than I thought, more velocity than I thought, more command than I thought. His numbers weren't great. I mean, they were 2 of 9, but with an interception. But again, the numbers are misleading. There were some drop passes in there, not a lot of protection, and the interception was on the final drive. Kind of thrown under pressure, maybe duress, kind of a freshman mistake. But this guy looks very capable. I mean, he looks like he fits right into that pro-style offense where you've got to be able to throw the deep outs and throw those seam routes on the line. I was very impressed with him. And Damian Terry, we'd heard from Coach D'Antonio that he'd been inconsistent. More of that today. Good news, bad news. The bad news is, Damian dropped the ball a couple of times, missed on some easy throws. But the good news is he made some fantastic plays. He converted 2 fourth-down passes and showed his agility with some scrambles and some escapability. And beside Weaver, for a guy that should really be picking out a tuxedo and going to the prom right now, only 17 years old, I thought he looked really good, really strong arm. I would say this quarterback situation is a really good quarterback situation, Kyle.
Right, and Mark D'Antonio reiterated today, as he has from the beginning of this, that nothing was decided today. Nothing was decided in spring. This is going to keep going. Even if he still talks about Tyler O'Connor first. I think it's pretty clear that Mark D'Antonio and the staff see him as ahead right now. But they're not going to rush to a decision today. He's not going to name a starter. This is going to keep going. So Tyler O'Connor made it look good today, but I don't think this is close to over. Other guys that might have stood out to you maybe on the defensive side?
Well, I'll go offensive first. Delton Williams ran the ball like the old Delton Williams, not the guy you saw last year that missed 5 months of off-season conditioning with a suspension. I saw a guy that was running hungry, that was running physical, good forward lean. I mean, he hit the line on that goal line play for a touchdown, and he was not going to be denied. And I know he's the fullback right now, but don't be surprised if you don't see Delton Williams in some single back stuff, because he's still plenty capable, and he will bring another dimension. If they can get Delton Williams back there with an L.J. Scott or Gerald Holmes, who also I thought ran the ball really well. Again, the numbers aren't going to tell you much, but they moved the pile, they hit the line well, they accelerated. I thought Madre London maybe was the victim of some tough play calls. He didn't look like he had much to work with. But the running back situation, also very good. Defensively, you got to say the Dowell twins. We knew going in that Andrew Dowell was projected as an outside linebacker starter. Then we heard that Chris Fry was working ahead of him, and we know there's a lot of competition at those outside linebacker spots. John Retschke will get one probably. Riley Bull is in the middle, but then between Ed Davis and Andrew Dowell and Chris Fry, we don't really know. I guess it doesn't matter. They rotate a little bit. But Andrew Dowell had a good presence today. And David Dowell, his fraternal twin, these guys were once Kentucky commits, and Michigan State flipped him late in the 15 class. David Dowell with a game-clinching interception and 6 tackles in the secondary. So I'll be interested to see how David Dowell does. I don't think he's a threat to start, but I think he's a guy you're going to see in the dime package, a guy that you'll see end up working in the rotation on special teams. Not as much from Donnie football as we thought today. I think the secondary got together and said, you know what, Donnie Corley is not going to exploit us today.
Well, one guy we saw a lot of today, and I think one of the surprising things is Jamal Lyles playing on both sides. Apparently he had an agreement where for every catch he made, he would be allowed to play a snap on defense.
Okay.
So he actually went to the coaches beforehand and asked to play defense. And obviously they need some help on the defensive line, depth-wise and defensive end. But it sounds like it's something they're legitimately looking at. Is him maybe being a two-way guy in the fall. He's a guy that's got experience on defense going back a couple years. Obviously, you look at his size, and he should be able to hold
Made
his
a couple
own on
plays
the
today.
defense. Made a couple plays.
Tackle for loss on
Big
LJ
tackle for
Scott.
loss. So kind of
Sack.
something to watch going in. He could be the next Michigan State guy to kind of play both ways. I think we might have seen the beginning of that today.
Tyson Smith, another guy that I thought played really well. Tyson was a guy who played as a true freshman, and you saw him a lot on special teams. I think he took a step today. I thought that was big as well. So, really, Kyle, nobody got hurt today. I think Chris Fry might have twisted an ankle, and Shane Jones might have gotten dinged up a little bit early, but nothing serious. A good crowd. They announced a 51,000 crowd.
Exactly. Funny how that works.
Yeah, well, yeah, right on the money. So I think it was a really positive spring game for Michigan, and I think it was entertaining.
Yeah.
I think there was enough plays made for the purists, I guess, for us, the guys that cover it. We got to see enough. I was entertained by that game.
Becky D'Antonio told Mark afterwards that he should put a few more points up on the board. So maybe future years,
I don't know. He's a defensive coach.
That would
I
go
don't
against
think
his
so.
nature.
Yeah.
But that'll do it today for us from Spartan Stadium after Michigan State spring game. Check with mlive.com/Spartans for all the coverage. Thanks for watching.